Okay, we are back. All right, A's news, even if there is any. Oh, excuse me. That was a bad time burp. But, you know, sometimes they just come at weird times. I don't know. It's been difficult couple weeks on A's fan front. Currently, they are in a 9-game losing streak. Just before that, they were in a 10-game losing streak. Julio?
Feels like it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I think what we expected from this season is just kind of playing out. Not a lot of grown talent yet. A lot of developing. A lot of just kind of figuring out the roster to put on the field. It feels like at times like they're just trying to find guys to put out there. A lot of roster moves. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but at the same time, you look at the talent that we're trying to develop and it's not looking very promising. Like Christian Pache is like not looking very good right now. And
No.
Sean Murphy's really not looking very good anymore. And yeah, it's AJ Puck's looking good.
Yeah.
And Jimenez.
There you go. Yeah. It's,
even though Jimenez blew a save last week, but you know.
this is arguably like it's June 9th. This might be the worst A's team we've ever seen. I know it's a lot of time left.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, it feels like we were always kind of like around 500 when we were rebuilding still, you know?
Yeah, like the worst like we were was like, 72 and something or
yeah.
But like at least during those years, we at least knew the names that were like coming up.
Yeah,
it's
like 2015, Marcus Semien, Chris Davis, like those guys were around.
But then like, we knew about Chappie, we knew about Olsen and all that. And then like in the early 2010s, it's like we were hearing grumblings of Sonny Gray already then. And it's really, there was no real big prospects on those 2012, 13, 14 teams besides Sonny, right? Am I missing anybody? Who was like Cespedes? That's an outlier because he was an international free agent. But was there
Josh
any players?
Thompson wasn't like a major prospect.
Yeah, he just kind of figured it out.
Let me think. Josh Reddick, but he was a trade.
Yeah, he was a trade.
Prospects that we drafted. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like that was like, oh, well, at least we know, look, we're bad now, but just wait till a couple years when X player comes up. Because that's pretty much what we've been telling ourselves this whole offseason, which is like
Jared Parker was a trade.
Was he?
Yeah, he was a trade.
But still, it wasn't like we were saying like, oh, just wait until Jared Parker comes up kind of thing.
No, Sonny Gray was the only one.
Yeah, Sonny was the only real. You're right. Jared Parker was Diamondbacks.
Because Grant Green was the draft pick, the number 1 draft pick before Sonny Gray, but he was terrible.
Yeah. Oh, Grant Green.
Yeah.
Traded him to the Angels for Alberto Callaspo.
Yeah. Callaspo was good for there for a couple of years though.
I love Callaspo, man.
Yeah, dude, you're right. I mean, there wasn't. And then the last time, obviously, there was Olsen, Chapman, and Pinder, and
then we were hearing the Luzardo hype, and then Puck hype, and so there's at least that. But it's like right now, this season, realistically, who are we going to see that's going to help be like cool? Get a Shea Langeliers is pretty much it.
I mean, not this season, but like in 2 seasons, there's going to be obviously, fucking Soderstrom and Max
Muncy,
Jared
maybe
Geloff. Yeah,
Geloff, maybe Nick Allen will kind of be a more well-rounded hitter, but it's just like right now, it's just like I have to pull up the numbers in front of me, but I think the A's might be like the worst team in baseball right now.
Yeah. Last time I checked, they were like 3rd to last, but
like as a whole,
there's nothing promising. There's nothing promising.
Because okay, let's look at the 3 worst teams in the American League right now.
Okay.
the Royals are the worst team in the National League or American League right now, but Bobby Witt Jr. is there. Then they've got like a bunch of other stud prospects. They got a bunch of flamethrowers. Baltimore is 24-34, and I think they've actually are much better than what. Yeah, I think their record is a lot better than what it should be. And then like Adley Rutschman is like the number one prospect, and he finally got called up.
And Cedric Mullins. If I had Cedric Mullins, I'd be
Cedric. Dude, I was thinking about this the other day. The Orioles low key have like a pretty dope team offensively. You got Mullins, Rutschman, Trey Mancini. Jorge Mateo's actually been doing pretty decent.
That's right.
Trey Mancini's been doing pretty good.
He was great for my fantasy team last year.
Stealthy team. All right, let's look at the the National League. The Reds are the worst team in the National League. They're very dire situation as well, but they've got some fucking crazy arms coming up. Hunter Green looks legit. And then you've got the Nationals. You have Juan Soto. Who cares?
Yeah, you're good.
So realistically, it's like shit. After naming off all those guys and looking at the A's right now and what's going to be coming up, at least for hope at the rest of the year, there's not much, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know
it just sucks.
I don't know what to say. Yeah.
It's like, how do we even be this?
They traded all those guys the past 2 years to get, Starling Marte and all these other guys, and then there was nothing to show for and fucking Tommy La Stella, and then they had nothing to show for it. So I don't know.
Well, Tommy La Stella, they just gave up Barreto, and I think his career is probably over, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, Luzardo, I know he was hurt. I don't know if he's back yet, but he was doing pretty well in Miami.
I wonder why they're not developing guys very well anymore. Because like Barreto, like that should have worked out. Like what happened to his development? Jorge Mateo, same with him. They had 2 shortstop prospects. Neither of them worked out. They rolled the dice on that. They didn't, like Logan Davidson's taken so long to develop. Like what's the deal with that? Like, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't feel like they're developing guys like they did when Chapman and Olsen came up.
I think it all has to deal with just ownership. I bet you the amount of money that John Fisher was putting in, or probably Lou Wolf during that time, it feels like the mid 2010s, was putting into lower level development compared to what he's putting in. Dude, I have a feeling that John Fisher's organizational whole is putting in like less than $100 million a year. I would not be shocked if it's like, because how much is payroll right now? Like 30-40 mil.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if you include travel and everything, the guy's putting in less than like 100 million into this team, with this franchise.
Yeah.
But it's just like, this is really depressing.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We've been saying it for years. It's just like, I don't understand why Major League Baseball doesn't see this and is like, this guy's not good for our brand. So we should probably get an owner in here who cares. Because, like, I get it. You can argue, like, hey, not every team is going to make the playoffs every year. Like, yeah, okay, that's fine. But, like, you're putting in no effort. You don't want to create stars. You don't want to bring people to the ballpark. You don't want to sell tickets. You don't want to sell T-shirts. You don't want to, like, nothing. You're doing nothing to help the brand. I just, like, if I'm the other owners in baseball, I'm just like, what is this guy doing? Like, you look at basketball. Okay. Who was a bad team this year?
The Kings.
But at least they have a star in De'Aaron Fox they could build around. He's going to sell jerseys. I just don't. The Knicks, like at least they're doing something to try and get people to the arena. Like, I do not get it for the life of me. I do not understand the business plan that these 30 100 millionaires think that is so genius, that is clearly not working for them anymore. I don't know. It baffles my mind.
Because look at all those teams we just listed. They're bad, but there's at least something that's going to give them some optimism and be like, cool, maybe for a couple of years, like, you can see that product. And like Jonathan India was the rookie of the year last year for the Reds. It's like, there you go. But check this out. So you probably know who off the top of your head, who was the last A's rookie of the year?
No, I mean, you're putting me on the spot and I can't think of it, but who is it?
He is now a pitching coach for the Giants. Oh, shit. Andrew Bailey. Andrew Bailey was the last rookie of the year.
Oh, okay. Why would you think that I would know what the Giants coaching staff is?
Oh, no, because I remember it being like a big thing when it was first announced. I'm like, what the? Like, Andrew Bailey retired. 2, he's already coaching, which is crazy. In the 2000s, the A's won 3 rookie of the years. It was Bobby Crosby, Houston Street, Andrew Bailey.
Yeah, I remember.
And they haven't won one since then. And it just kind of shows you that like what the player development was back then compared to what it is now is just not there. And it's just, I don't know what gives. I don't know why they haven't put the effort into it. Could it just be ownership is cheap and they don't really want to put the real stuff? Shit, you're even seeing stuff right now where like, our homies in right field with like last dive bar guys, they've been putting on fan events because the A's aren't doing anything, where they had like Western night a few weeks ago and then they did the wrestling night.
I will argue that talent back then wasn't as major league ready as they are now. Like it feels like when guys come up now, they're like fucking stars like the first year that they're up, where back then wasn't the case. Like it usually takes a couple of years to fully develop. So it's like when a pitcher like Andrew Bailey has 25 saves in a season, you're like, oh wow, this guy developed quick. I don't know.
So is there anybody right now, the younger players that we've seen so far, where you're like, oh, this might actually be something, like this might actually be something to look forward to?
Nick Allen in spring training is the only one I can think of.
And then AJ Puck, man.
And AJ
Puck's like, it's just, but it's kind of hard because it's like you having him in such limited.
And
like,
what are you
outings.
going to do? And what's the role for him moving forward? Are you going to put him back in the rotation or not? Like, yeah, it's weird. Caprillion, he's coming off an injury, so I want to see more from him, but he's older now. I mean,
and he pitched well today against Cleveland. Yeah. I think he only gave up those 2 runs. What do you go, like 5-point something innings today? But just there goes that dang Lou Trevino. It's to the point where we can't really defend him anymore. I know we were trying, or at least I was trying to.
No, you were trying. I wasn't.
Yeah, and it's just not there anymore. Your boy Sheldon Noisy too got sent down.
Yeah,
he's
and
guess what?
Struggling hard, dude. He was struggling hard. It really flattened out.
But guess what? He's already tearing it up.
That's good.
He's tearing it up in Vegas because something.
Everybody tears up in Vegas, though.
So stupid. Like, why can't
maybe he'll get the confidence back and he'll be back. Who knows?
I wonder if there's going to be a study at some point where they're just going to show that like this hitting in Vegas doesn't do anything different. It's like maybe like a placebo effect kind of, right? Where it's like you're able to hit there because of the way that stadium is built, but then you go play in Oakland and it's the complete opposite.
Yeah. I'm curious as to why they allowed their farm system design a hitter's ballpark when they know that they play in a pitcher's ballpark. So wouldn't you want to get accustomed to a pitcher's ballpark?
Yeah, it's a new stadium. Like, why didn't you, or at least, maybe in a couple of years, you got to pull Baltimore and move the fences back a little bit, just not make it so happy-go-lucky. But that's just the way of the league too at the Pacific League. So the A's were on a 9-game losing streak as of this recording. During those 9 games, they have averaged 2 runs a game. I think the real highlights during that time in terms of hitters, Ramon has really turned it on. I think he's going to be a really good trade piece in a few weeks. So keep that up. Elvis has also been playing a much better offensively. I know you kind of gave him some crap a little bit earlier, but that's also another guy where
that's a specific situation. Though, I mean,
that was a really weird moment too. That really like collided into Steve Kwan or I think that's who it was.
Yeah,
and then Tito Francona got ejected afterwards. Weird
Yeah.
moment. But besides that, yeah, man, it's just I don't know what to do, and it just makes me sad because I don't want this Warrior season to end.
Yeah, because it's going to be a depressing summer. Well,
gonna
maybe
be
the WNBA will get a team in Oakland and we can watch the WNBA.
something. Give us anything. I've been
Dude, and the World Cup's not till the fall, so there's no international soccer to watch this summer. It fucking blows.
MLS, LAFC.
MLS is fucking lame as shit. Yeah, it's gonna be a depressing sports summer. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. But the College World Series is going on right now, so that's pretty cool. Anyway.
That's pretty much it. I just hope.
Let's just move on. Let's just
look, it's
wrap it up.
The one thing that's keeping me optimistic right now. Historically, they play well in June. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe they can go on 10-game winning streak after this. But
fair. All right, Julio. The upcoming schedule is the A's are going there. I mean, they're in Cleveland right now, and they're there till Sunday. And then next week, they will be playing the Red Sox in Boston from Tuesday to Thursday. Time for Player of the Week. Player of the Week is brought to you by Chris Martinez, State Farm agent of Walnut Creek. If you need home, life, or auto insurance, give Chris a call. He will give you a very fair quote. His phone number is 925-266-8997 or visit his website, agentchrismartinez.com. Let him know that the Town Tailgate homies sent you his way, and he will hook it up. Julio, who's your Player of the Week?
Swervin Cole Irvin.
Nice.
I since we didn't record last week, I'm going off to the last 2 weeks. But he's been since he's come back from injury, he's actually been a pretty consistent pitcher. He's pitched 17.1 innings with 12 strikeouts during that time, 2.6 ERA, 1.27 ERA whip. No wins, but no
run support.
Exactly. But yeah, I think he's kind of picking up what we've seen from him in the past. The Philo's looking good. And who knows? I think after the trade deadline, he might be the ace of this rotation, which not saying much. At least by that point, we'll see at the end of July. I know Blackburn's had a couple shaky starts. Cap has had some issues since he's come back from injury, but we'll see. Swervin Cole Irvin, keep it up, man.
I still firmly believe that Paul Blackburn is our best pitcher, and he had one bad start. It wasn't even two. He had one bad inning in the one that you're speaking of, and he has been great all season. Heavy, Chris Bassett energy happening, and I think that he will be. I think that 3 A's will be in the All-Star game, but if it's only one, it's going to be just him, in my opinion. You don't think Frankie and Jimenez will be in the All-Star game? I think they could. I think 3 could, because they're all having great seasons.
I have to look at the competition. I don't doubt it. I'm not like saying you're wrong, but I just got to compare it against the rest of the league.
My player of the week is Steph Curry, though, because he has been killing it in the NBA Finals, and I don't feel like I can give a player of the week this week. So I'm going to give it to Steph Curry. You know what? He did everything he could to win that game last night. He was running all over the fucking court, but it was like a one-man show. Clay had a good game, but in the fourth quarter, they had nothing, and Steph was trying to will that game himself on one foot. So let's hope that he can get some help again tomorrow night. Jordan Poole had such a good second quarter. I wish that he would have kept doing that. It's been brutal. Draymond's starting to feel like he's like unplayable, dude.
I agree.
He's strictly energy on the court. He's not basketball. Like even his basketball IQ is not there anymore. He's like not making good passes. He's turning the ball over like crazy. I just I don't even know what to say anymore. I hate to say that about Draymond, but it's been brutal.
Would it be kind of ridiculous to even just consider him off the bench?
That's pretty ridiculous.
That's the thing. It's like
I think what needs to happen is Steve Kerr just needs to just cut his minutes short a little bit and get play more Otto Porter and play some more Moody or something like that, and just kind of send a signal to him dude, you're not playing well, so we got to go with guys who are going to do it. You're the heart and soul of this team, but I don't know. Like you're making these mistakes, and it's like not okay.
I also don't understand the like no Looney minutes in the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter when you can tell just Boston sides was really just taking a full advantage. But
well, I mean, you're only having him out there for his length, and like Tatum and Brown keep on trying to switch onto him because they can just blow past him and stuff like that because he's just not quick enough. I just think he had a bad game. That's really it, because we've seen him play way better defense all the playoffs, but yesterday he was just getting like they were just fucking going right past him, and he wasn't rebounding quite as well, you know.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
I don't think you can play Belly. Belly is like such a liability on defense. I would rather go with Moody and just tell him to crash the glass. Like just take your chances with the smaller guy and just be like, dude, just crash the glass. Like you don't know where the ball's going to bounce off the rim.
And if you get fouls, cool. Well, you're just our third option. So
yeah,
I thought you were going to say Ramon, because Ramon has been really nice. He's been, I think he's on he's got a little hit streak going on. So glad to see he's finally picked up. He looked pretty slumpy those first couple of weeks, but I guess not. I
wanted to talk about the Warriors a little bit.
Yeah. This is like the most energetic we got because we got to talk about something a little more joyful, despite how agonizing it is in these off days. All right. So for our essential tailgate tools, during the 2 weeks ago, our last pod, Chris selected Sheldon Noisy, who is no longer on the team.
That didn't age well.
And Sean Murphy, who he got himself above the Mendoza line. So there you go. Defense still there, but he is absolutely, I think he's actually like top 5 in doubles in the American League, which is pretty cool, but absolute struggle bus over there. Alrighty, Chris, who is your essential tailgate tool of the week for this coming week?
So I would like to see James Caprillion have another good start. He hasn't really put together 2 good starts in a row. He had a good one today, just didn't really get the run support. And I just would like to see some consistency from him so he can kind of build off of that and like finish the season off on a high note. You know what I mean? Like not finish the season off because there's a long way to go, but like go into the summer on a high note so that he can progress. And maybe, probably not. I'd prefer if they didn't, but maybe be a trade piece. What say you? Well, you're muted, so I can't hear you.
Damn it. All cap or no cap?
Every fucking episode, it's got to happen once.
Everybody gets one. Let's go Jed Lowry. We go Jed
Lowry.
Jed's been pretty streaky throughout the season. The last pod we were talking about, I was saying he was Jed hot, but he's kind of cooled off a little bit. I think going back to his old stomping grounds in Boston, maybe that can fix him up a little bit. But again, he could be one of those guys. If he can play well for the next month, he could find himself a nice home for the end of the season. So Jed, see what you can do, man. Before we go, forgot to mention, we didn't get a chance to talk about it. We got to see your old friend Matt Olson this week. He looked great. He looked happy in Atlanta. He's got a great lineup around him, great ballpark.
And Stephen Vogt and Christian Pache got their World Series rings.
Yeah, that's all. Congrats for the both of them. Cool to have that. It just sucks seeing them. It's like seeing another outfit.
Yeah, I'm pretty used to it.
Yeah. I think the one thing we do need to plug, because we are a very Bay Area focused show, is your brother's documentary. Just had their first screening last week.
Yeah, at SF. It wasn't the first screening.
Or the first.
He did a Q&A during a festival. I forgot, SF Cinefest or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but it's it's been in a bunch of festivals. It's not available yet to stream, but we'll let you people know when it is. People keep hitting me up like, where can I see it? I'm like, well, you have to go to this film festival to see it. I don't know what to tell you. Because everybody just assumes that things just go straight to streaming these days, but that's not how the business of filmmaking works.
Not when you're an independent filmmaker who's just did this as a side passion.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say as well, make sure if you want to learn more about the documentary if you wanted to keep up to date. So if they do more screenings in the Bay Area or elsewhere, follow We Were Hyphy on Instagram. He doesn't have a Twitter, correct?
No, just Instagram.
Yeah, so make sure keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Nothing else to plug, but hey, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. You didn't come because you're lazy fuck.
I'm still sick. It's killing me.
That's all good. You missed some great singing karaoke.
What were your songs that night?
I Want It That Way was a duet with me and my buddy Wes.
Or was it classic?
By Backstreet Boys, and then Use Somebody by Kings of Leon. Yeah. Why is that funny?
I thought that's just such a random karaoke song.
It's a great karaoke song because everybody knows that song. That song was huge when it came out, and it's very singable and it's very sing-alongable. So like people in the crowd will sing with you.
My go-to is More Than a Woman by the Bee Gees. And then Shining Star by Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh, that's a good one. The first one, I would just, you wouldn't get much out of me if I was in that crowd.
Every time I've done it, it's been a huge crowd pleaser. I'll tell you that. And Wendy's got an excellent go-to song. It's This Kiss by Faith Hill.
Oh, it's a great one.
Yeah. And everybody gets it. At first, they're like, oh, what's this? And then when it hits the chorus, everyone's like, oh.
Oh, I would think people would be on from the beginning. I'm a little shocked by that.
I think I'm going to try it out next time I go singing. I want to do Our House by Madness.
Yeah.
Because
older
it's going to be this,
definitely, if it's an older crowd, yeah.
But I think everybody knows at least Our House.
Yeah. They don't know the whole song though.
That's all I need.
That's the only part that they would sing. It's because you've been seeing those commercials during the NBA finals, huh? There's a commercial that has that song. I guarantee you subconsciously that's why you.
Oh, maybe the one song I'm commercial I'm so tired of is the whatever the new Airbnb knockoff is, but they're playing the Muppet song.
Oh yeah,
that is
yes.
where
Verbo. Yes. Oh my God, I'm so over that. All right, we can end this podcast. All right,
please.
That's gonna be it for the Town Takeaway. We'll see you next week. Last but not least, Julio.
Let's go, Oakland.
For the people listening on podcasts, Julio put up his cup, which says "Let's go, Oakland" on it. So, and he's chugging the rest of his beer. Good job, Julio.